Hey, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Matt Ogus, Flex for All 2 here. To everyone waiting for this video, you better like and share this shit, bruh! How's all my YouTube peeps doing? Yeah, my face is still burnt. Oh my gosh. You guys wanted more videos on how to track macros, how to estimate or guess macros when you go out to eat at restaurants. So in this video, I pretty much do just that. And after you see my guess for what the macros were of the meal, I'm going to show you what the approximate macros are based on the restaurant's website. It's nutrition facts. Of course, they're not going to be perfect, but they're probably a little bit more accurate than my guess. So let's see what happens, guys, and let's end this video with a little discussion on macros and eating out. Here with the baby girl. Hey, baby. We're here at Noodles in Roseville. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
What's this called right here? This dish?
Pesto, and I can't say the last one because it's Italian cavatappi.
Pesto cavatappi, basically chicken breast right there, grilled, and then drizzle with olive oil, a little bit of cheese. So honestly, guys, this is probably I'm looking at like 25 grams of fat, which is actually quite a bit for a meal when you're dieting or something like that. You're probably looking at about 70 to 80 grams of carbs. Anywhere between 60 and 75, actually more like 70, 75 grams of carbs right there. And this chicken breast will probably get me about only like 25 to 30 grams of protein, but combined with this right here, it's more like 35 to 40 grams of protein total that I'm looking at right here. And this is in Roseville, guys, if you ever want to go there. It's in the Sacramento area. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, we got a cool day. So let's see how much I was off, guys. I actually underestimated fats by about 6 grams. I underestimated carbs by 30 to 25 to 30 grams. And I actually underestimated protein by about 10 to 15, okay? Interestingly, there was a ton of protein in the pasta. And I guess it just depends on what kind of pasta you get, but sometimes there's a lot of protein and sometimes there's pretty much nothing. A lot of people don't count the protein they eat in carb sources for whatever reason. Most people that count macros or do the whole if it fits your macros sort of thing, they count everything. But some people who do things by volume and such, sometimes they just don't count protein. So a note to those guys, there's protein in all sorts of foods, you know what I mean? There's protein everywhere. So it was kind of interesting when I saw that there's 27 grams of protein in the freaking pasta. Huh? How? So, interesting, right, guys? So, there was a total of 50 grams of protein in that, and I guessed, like I said, 35 to 40. So, I was a little bit underestimating that. Now, on to the actual fats. One thing to keep in note, guys, when you go to restaurants is that it's so easy for a cook to slap on some fat on your meal. It's so easy for them to put more butter than normal, or to add butter when the nutrition facts on websites or on the little pamphlets that they give you doesn't include butter on the meals or on the foods that you're eating. So fats are the one thing that are so variable. It's ridiculously variable. It's insane. And plus, it's extremely easy to underestimate. So one thing, variable. Two, you will most often underestimate, like I did. I was off by 6 grams, and of course, you can't be precise. I don't know exactly if the cook followed the rules or he measured precisely how much oils and fats were supposed to go on my meal. So there's always that element of variable. All you can do is your best. And of course, when it comes to the macro thing, yeah, you'll be more accurate. Your results will be more. You'll just be more on top of your body composition if you knew macros perfectly. But of course, you'll have situations when your girlfriend wants to go out to eat. You want to go out to eat with your family. And having at least a rough estimate, a rough idea, or just experience in macros and how much food should be, or how much macros should be in certain foods that you're eating, you're able to become so much more flexible and have an easier time and not piss people off. So carbs, I somehow underestimated by 25 to 30 grams. 25 to 30 grams under on carbs. Which, say like in a contest prep, that could be a lot. That could really throw things off and really make you wonder why you're not losing weight or why you're gaining too much weight, that sort of thing. So, when it comes to eating out, especially if you're like in a contest prep, you really, really, really want to be careful, want to be conservative with the macros, in the sense that, say something looks like 20 grams of fat, 30 carbs. Go ahead and document that as 5 to 10 fats more than what you think it is, and 10, 15 carbs more than what you think it is. If your goal is losing fat, that way, it really depends on also your goals, but that way you'll stay close on the plan. And that's just how restaurants normally work. It's so easy to underestimate compared to overestimate. Quick side note, guys, if you know you're about to go in some sort of all-you-can-eat buffet or some extravaganza involving tons of food, you can easily plan ahead, say 2 to 3 days in advance. For those 2 to 3 days, you can lower your fats and or carbs just by a little bit, maybe by 5 grams fat per day, maybe even 10, something like that. And your carbs by maybe 20 grams per day or something like that. If you're certain that either you're not going to track anything on that crazy day of food eating, if you know you're not going to track a damn macro that day, or if you know you're definitely going to go over. So those are just some easy ways to plan for crazy food eating days. And of course, you could spend a day or two after that crazy binge day or off day with slightly lowered fat and or carb macros. And there was one point that I also wanted to make. It was when it comes to eating out of restaurants, and this is a concern that I get by a lot of people, guys. Messages, dozens per day about restaurants. People will say things like, should I count macros at restaurants, or should I just count it as a cheat meal, a cheat day, that sort of thing? Honestly, it's an option that's up to you, and you can decide whether you want to do cheat meals, cheat days, whatever. It's in the end, it's like there's sacrifices to be made, but it all just adds up in the end. And it's like the more precise you are with your macros, the better control you'll be able to have on your body composition. There's also the psychological effects, the mental effects, emotional effects of being OCD and that sort of thing. So I also recommend to people to make things as least stressful as possible. Get good at macros, get good at guessing macros or estimating, and don't let things stress you out. Because if you become OCD with things and let things piss you off all the time and become so, ooh, I gotta get my macros perfect, then that's also pretty bad, right? But then there's another argument where people say, oh, don't count macros because it'll just make you crazy. I know a lot of people that count macros and they're not crazy. It's simply because they get good at it and they don't let it piss them off and that sort of thing. So guys, you can have cheat days, you can have any of this stuff. It comes down to it, doing macros to the T, whether it's guessing approximately, doing that well, or actual weighing out everything. The better you are, the more precise you are, the better understanding and control you'll have over your body composition. Sometimes for some people it's hard to do that. It's hard emotionally and mentally, but with experience you can get very, very good at it and that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with having cheat meals and that sort of thing, but when you can't count macros in a meal or an entire day, it kind of adds a variable in there and it just throws things off, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it depends on your goals. That was the last point of this video. It depends on your goals. For example, I'm trying to gain muscle and bulk, add weight to my body as slowly as possible, I'm talking like half a pound or less a week. That's my goal, but like in reality, I'm cool with like a half a pound a week sort of thing. 2 pounds a month, that's cool with me, 2 pounds a month. And with that, that's why I try to stay on these macros when I eat out. I try to hit my macros so that I don't add too much fat, so that when I do cut down and do my contest prep, I won't have 3,000 pounds of fat to lose. On the other hand, guys, you have people who aren't necessarily worried about their body composition, that sort of thing, and they are cool with adding excessive amounts of fat to their body. You have those people. They are cool with it. And in that case, why should they be so strict and OCD on hitting this certain macro goal when it's so much easier for them and healthy for that person to freaking, go well above his necessary needs and that sort of thing. He doesn't necessarily have to be as OCD as a person like me, right? So it really depends on your goals, guys. It depends on whether you're trying to add, with your bulking, your cutting, how OCD you are, how much your results, or how important those results are to you, how good you are at counting macros. There's so many different factors, guys. Comes down to it, it's easy to do once you get good at it. The better you are at it, the better control you have of your body. The more times you cut, the more you understand about yourself. And with understanding nutrition, you could reach your goals faster and more efficient, just overall be more effective. And that's basically it, guys. Side note number 2, guys. Granted, I am not the best at macros. I'm no, Jeff Alberts, Alberto Nunez, who can bulk precisely gaining a specific amount of weight per week, and I'm sure that they don't even think that they're the best. But you can get to a level where you're counting the macros, and it doesn't take more than 2 minutes of your day. It doesn't even take more than 2 minutes of your day. 5 max. Now, when you begin, it might take you a little while, to log on the computer, write food plans, and track macros with your phone and all that good stuff. But as you get better, you end up just remembering how much you're eating, what's in the foods you're eating, without even putting it in your phone. And for me, I'm not the best at it, but this is what I do. I go throughout my day eating the foods that I like to eat, this and that. I'm about to go to the store, get to Chipotle. Shout out to Julia, what's good? Yo, what's happening, mama? And like come 12 o'clock at night as I'm eating my last meal, I will log on and spend about 2 minutes writing down or logging my food. It will only take me 2 minutes to figure out how much more of my last meal I will actually have to eat, how much protein, carbs, and fats I'll have to hit or I'll have to consume to hit my goals for that day. It only takes me 2 minutes of my day, and you got motherfuckers out there saying it's so time consuming, it's so stressful, it's this and that. Guys, if you've been watching my videos, you've been seeing that I've been bulking at a really, really nice, good rate. I'm not adding tons of fat to my body. I'm adding tons of strength. I'm adding as much size as I think I possibly can. And I'm not gaining a ton of fat. And it's only taking me 2 minutes of my day to do this. So to everyone who says that this stuff's bullshit or this stuff's time consuming, you're crazy, man. I'm having great results and it takes me 2 minutes per day. So think about that, guys. Food for thought, right? Cliffs. When you go out to eat, if you're trying not to add too much fat or if you're on a cut, generally give yourself or document meals as having more fat and more carbs than you think that they have. On the other side, if you're bulking and you don't give a shit, don't worry about it. And if you're on a slight bulk, like I am, try to just be as precise as possible and don't flip a bitch when you find things out like this. It's not a huge deal. Get over it and have fun. That's it, guys. That is those are some tips on how to on how I recommend people track macros, take guesses while they're eating out. That's it. I'm sorry for taking up a lot of your guys' time, but I hope that I helped a ton of people. Thanks.
Hey, quit being a little bitch! Ogus cake!